Hello, and welcome to another course in another lesson in Optician course lesson 6, aligning frames. In this lesson, we're going to be going over some of the common tools an optician uses, three types of frame tilts, and the Vertex. So let's begin with optician tools. Optical screwdriver. There are different sizes, but they come in familiar shape of flat and Phillips. Here are a couple tips while working with frames and using your optical screwdriver. Always select the widest screwdriver blade you can use without scratching a frame. Also, best to put a tiny drop of Loctite or clear fingernail polish on the end of a screwdriver before inserting it to help prevent it from backing out. Four types of optical screwdriver: pliers for angling the temples, pliers for straightening out the eye wires and rounding the nose pads, pliers for adjusting the nose pads, and lens access pliers, which they can grab the lens, hence their name, on the front and the back so we can rotate it. Tools that heat frames to make them more pliable. So before you even use a plier or your hand to adjust or fix a frame, you're going to have to most likely heat the frame, depending on the material, to make them more pliable. So there's two ways we do it. It's hot salt pans and forced hot air frame warmers. And hot salt pans contain heated table salt. They are effective at making frames pliable, but they can also damage certain frame materials and lens coatings. And forced hot air frame warmer is a more modern, cleaner way to heat frames. Forced hot air warmers allow you to adjust the temperature of the heat and to apply a more direct stream of hot air evenly to the area of a frame that needs adjustment. So this is basically like a fancy blow dryer, and this is the old ancient hot table salt. Both work very effective, and both are used. Note: no matter which method you use, it's important to know what temperatures your frame and lens can handle beforehand, and you'll only heat the part of the frame you're working while keep moving the frame as it heats to make sure it heats evenly. Another tool is lens caliper, which is a smart measuring tool to measure thickness of a lens. Normal is usually 2 millimeters, and safety lens should be minimum 3 millimeters. Distometer is another measuring tool to measure the vertex distance between, which is the distance between your cornea and the back of a lens. And we'll talk about vertex more in a second. Three types of frame tilts, and these are very important. So normally when you see a person wearing glasses from the side, you'll see glasses like this, slight down from here and a slight up from the top. So that is normal angle, and that is called the pantoscopic tilt. If you look at worn glasses from side, you can notice lenses angled down a bit. This is because we don't spend all of our time looking straight ahead. Instead, we're often looking down. We look down to talk, to read, and even to view a computer screen. This slight downward angle of usually 10 degrees is necessary so that lower part of the frame is closer to the face as opposed to the top part, allowing us to maintain the optical center in front of the pupils when the eyes move downward. So when you first wear glasses to a patient, you want to make sure that it's in a pantoscopic angle, which can be good for their distance, intermediate, and near vision, or looking straight ahead, up, and down. The glasses can accommodate because they are in the optical center, which is in front of the pupils. And when it's bifocals, it can be in between 5 to 15 degrees downward tilt. Instead of the 10 degrees tilt, it can be 5 or 15 degrees. Every 2 degrees, now this is something you have to know for the ABO exam, every 2 degrees of pantascopic tilt added to a frame front effectively lowers the optical center of the lens by 1 millimeter. So 2 degrees of pantascopic tilt equals 1 millimeter down of optical center. So when you're adjusting these frames and you move the tilt 2 degrees more down, then it will equal that you have also moved 1 millimeter of optical center down. Orthoscopic tilt, ortho in medical terminology means straight, so that's an easy way for you to remember. But an orthoscopic tilt means that the lenses are the same distance from the eye at the top and the bottom of the frame. Retroscopic tilt is odd tilt that makes the upper portion of the frame is closer to the eyes than the lower part of the frame. This is not effective in vision because the optical center is not in front of the pupil when eyes move downward because of this angle. This is a malfunction that can be fixed with your hands or right optical pliers. So again, pantascopic angle is correct. Orthoscopic angle is it's all just looking straight ahead, and retroscopic angle is retro. It's like weird. It's not correct at all. Okay, now let's talk about the all-important vertex. Vertex is the distance between the cornea and the back of an eyeglass lens. So from your eye to the back of an eyeglass lens. Phoropter is when you get your eyes tests by phoropter, the distance between front of your eyes and phoropter lens is 12 millimeters. This is your vertex distance, and your eyeglass prescription will also have the same distance. So mostly our vertex, when measured, is usually 12 millimeters. And if the vertex distance is too close to or too far from the eyes, the power of the lenses will be too strong or too weak. This altered power is known as the effective power of the lenses. Short vertex too close to the eye equals more minus power, minimization of the lenses. Long vertex or too far from the eye equals more plus power or maximization. Tools to measure, as mentioned above, is a distometer and a phoropter. Face form. Let's quickly touch on this. The relationship of a frame to the curve of the face. There are 3 types of face forms. Positive face form is when you generally want glasses to have a positive face form, meaning that they curve slightly to follow the contour of the face. Negative face form is lenses are too big, making face form contour too much or too negative. And no face form is that lenses didn't do much to a face and it's a straight face. So in this lesson, we covered information about aligning the frames, the most common optical tools, 3 types of frame tilts, and the vertex. So if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for future lessons and future optician lessons. And if you need then these notes, the link will be in the description. Thank you.